Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Te jāyino sātatikā niccāṃ dallha parakkamā phusaṃ te dhīrā nibbānaṃ yogakkhémaṃ anuttaraṃ. Those wise ones practice jhana, concentration, constantly, ardently, and experience nibbanic bliss, which is completely free from bondage and unsurpassable. Friends, this is an utterance of the Buddha. Today, I am very happy to see you, that you all are practicing very well. As today is the fourth day for this retreat, I was asked to give talks, 2 talks, today and tomorrow. So I am very happy to share with you the Dhamma this afternoon. For this Dhamma talk, our topic is how to develop jhana and gain different levels of knowledge. As you all know, the Buddha, even before his enlightenment, as he was very young, the little one, about 5 years, he himself practiced jhana. He himself practiced the first jhana. He gained first jhana while he was practicing under a rose apple tree. As he went, he was taken to the rice field while his father was plowing in the field. He sat cross-legged under a rose apple tree and he practiced. He gained first jhana. So jhana means concentration. There are several synonyms such as serenity, unification of mind, collectedness of mind, tranquility, undistractedness of mind, or imperturbability. These are some synonyms for concentration, jhana. Buddha once said, Natti jhanang apanyassa, panya natti ajhayato, yamhi jhanancha panyacha save nibbana santike. There is no concentration without wisdom, no wisdom without concentration. One who has both wisdom and concentration is indeed at peace. So, in order to practice concentration, in order to practice jhana, we should have wisdom. And on the other hand, in order to develop wisdom, we should have concentration. So this is how the Buddha's technique of meditation, samatha vipassana, go together, hand in hand. Both these are to be practiced. Simply practicing jhana is not enough. Buddha's meditation is not jhana. His emphasis was vipassana. But in order to practice vipassana, we have to practice jhana, concentration. Buddha did this. Buddha practiced these different jhanas. These are very well recorded in the discourses, in the suttas, in his early discourses. Not only the Buddha, even before the Buddha, in Buddhist India, many people practiced jhana, concentration meditation, and they gain different levels of knowledge. As you all know, there are 8 different jhana. 8 different jhanas means material jhana and immaterial jhana. Material jhanas, there are 4 material jhanas. First jhana, second jhana, third jhana, and the fourth jhana. These are called material jhana. And then Akasananchayatana, Vinyananchayatana, Akinchanyayatana, Nevasanya, Nasanyayatana. 4 which are called immaterial. These are different levels of mind. When we practice, develop, we can experience all these 8 jhanic bliss. Of course, the immaterial jhanas are called attainment, samapatti. So the Buddha practiced this under Alara Kalama and Uddaka Ramaputta. As the Buddha renounced his worldly life, while seeking a teacher, he went to meet a certain person named Alara Kalama, where he was taught first 7 jhanas. First 4 jhanas, the worldly material 4 jhanas, and immaterial first, second, and the third. Then he understood that these were not the right jhana. Thereafter he gave this up and he did not want to follow his teaching, and he then went away. Thereafter he met another teacher named Uddaka Ramaputta, where he was taught another attainment, samapatti, which is neither perception nor non-perception. So he practiced all this, but no vipassana, no end of sansaric journey. Therefore, as he understood the futility of this jhana, he continued, he wanted to practice himself. Then he practiced severe austerities, and even that was not helpful. One day he thought, is there any other way? Is there any other method to practice? Then it hit upon his mind that how he practiced first jhana under the rose apple tree. Then the Buddha started to practice that method, jhana, which is different, bit different from that of what the traditionally practiced jhana. We Buddhists talk about jhana, not the jhanas given in the Abhidhamma and Visuddhimagga. So here we practice teach jhana given in the suttas, not the Abhidhamma and Visuddhimagga. In the Abhidhamma and Visuddhimagga, you can see the jhana are absorption, where they talk about 5 different factors in jhana: vitakka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekaggata. In the discourses, you don't find what you call this ekaggata. Ekaggata means one-pointedness, which is not in the suttas. We will come to that later. I'll explain you how the Buddha has taught this in the suttas. And according to Abhidhamma, there are 5 different jhanas. But the Buddha has not talked about this in the discourses. So this is why I say these are later works. So later they have developed these things. In the discourses, in the original suttas, it is very clear that only 5 jhanas. First, second, third and fourth. So we talk about this jhana with 4 factors. And when we practice these 4 factors, these 4 jhanas, and we can develop this properly and come to the state of release of mind, which is called Cheto Vimukta. Release of mind, Cheto Vimukta. And also we can switch to insight and come to the state of Panya Vimukta. There are 2 levels of realization, Cheto Vimukta and Panya Vimukta. In order to practice Cheto Vimukta, in order to be a person with release of mind, Cheto Vimukta, one has to practice jhana. Then one can gain different levels of knowledge. Buddha has taught this. Buddha has practiced all this in different occasions, on different occasions. So let's understand how the Buddha practiced this, how to enter jhana. In order to enter jhana, according to these discourses, Buddha said, Viviccheva kamehi, viviccha akusalehi dhammehi, savitakkam savicharam vivekajam piti sukham patamajjanam upasampajja viharate. That is how the Buddha explained how to practice jhana, how to develop jhana. What is to be done? Buddha said, Viviccheva kamehi. First one has to abandon kama. What is kama? Kama means sensual pleasures, sensual indulgence. Sensual pleasures is to be abandoned first. Viviccheva kamehi. Then viviccha akusalehi dhammehi. Akusala. There are 10 akusala. If you are engaged in killing, it is akusala. If you are engaged in stealing, it is akusala. If you are engaged in sexual misconduct, it is akusala. If you are engaged in false speech, it is akusala. If you are engaged in malicious talk, it is akusala. If you are engaged in harsh speech, it is akusala. If you are engaged in frivolous talk, it's akusala. If you are engaged in covetousness, it is akusala. If you are engaged in ill will, it is akusala. If you are engaged in wrong view, it is akusala. All these 10 are called akusala. Kusala means unwholesome deeds. All these unwholesome deeds are to be avoided. One should refrain from this. Then you are doing kusala. Your mentality should be developed in kusala. So viviccheva akusale, that is the second thing to be done in order to practice jhana. If we are engaged in such unwholesome deeds, we cannot calm down our mind. Without calming down the mind, how can we develop jhana? this bliss, jhanic bliss. How can we gain jhanic bliss? So, vivicceva kamehi vivicca akusalehi dhamme. Then, savitakkam, vitakka. These are the factors to be there. Vitakka. Vitakka means we have to give attention again and again. We have to concentrate properly on the object of meditation. We have to do it again and again. Vitakka. Thinking. Vitakka. Thinking of the object. Giving attention again and again. We have to observe it. Vitakka. Then vichara. Vichara means examining. Simply observing is not enough. We have to observe it and we have to examine it. Examining. Vichara. So vitakka, savitakka, savichara. Then viveka jang. Viveka is detachment. We have detachment and there arises piti, sukha. Those are the four factors. Piti and sukha, rapture and happiness. These are the factors of the first jhana. So vitakka, vichara, piti, sukha. Those are the four factors. No ekaggata according to the suttas. With that one comes to the first jhana. Piti, sukham, patama jhanam upasampajya virati. Then when we come to the second jhana, vitakka vicharanam vupasama, we drop two factors, vitakka and vichara. It is not necessary any longer to give attention again and again and doing examining. We don't want to do any longer. With that, we experience rapture and happiness. Vitakka vicharanam vupasama ajjattang sampasadanam. By this time, internal purification, internal confidence, sampasadana, ajjattang sampasadana, internal confidence is there. Chetaso ekodibhavang, our mind is unified. So, internally, we have confidence and mind is unified. Second jhana. Chetaso ekodibhavang. Then avitakkam avicharang samadhijjang piti sukham. He has both rapture and happiness born from samadhi, concentration. Because in the first jhana, we have samadhi. We enter this first jhana, that is what is called samadhi. With that samadhi, the rapture and happiness both born from that samadhi. That is why it is called samadhijjang piti sukham. Dutiya jhanam upasampajya viharati. We come to the second jhana. Then pityacha viraga, when you come to the third one, pityacha viraga, you give up piti as well. Pityacha viraga upekkhakocha viharati, where upekha, equanimity arises in the third jhana. Upekha, equanimity arises. Upekkakocha viharati sattocha sampajanocha. These are the factors which are both these are lacking in other traditions. Clear comprehension, especially no clear comprehension in other traditions. So Buddha introduced this clear comprehension. Mindfulness and clear comprehension should go together. Mindfulness, when you have mindfulness, clear comprehension, if the mind is equanimous, then you can realize Dhamma. So in the third jhana, pityacha viraga, upekhakocha viharati, satocha sampajanocha. Sukhancha kayena patisangvedeti. Those are the qualities. There again you find 4 different qualities in the third jhana. What are the 4 qualities? Prityacha viraga, upekha, equanimity, sato, mindfulness, sampajano, clear comprehension, and sukha. These are the qualities in the third jhana. And when you come to the fourth jhana, there, then you give up both pleasure and pain. Sukassacha pahana, dukkassacha pahana. Pubbeva somanassa domanasana attangama. Give up the happiness and unhappiness. Both. Where arises, develop equanimity and mindfulness. Both these are very well developed. Mindfulness and equanimity. It is because of that we get the chance to switch to insight. Either to switch to insight or to practice different, gain different types of knowledge. Now let's understand different levels of knowledge. Jnana. Jnana. Knowledge is in Pali, Jnana. Different levels of knowledge. As we practice this jhana, we can gain different types of, different levels of knowledge. When we talk about knowledge, Buddha has used different terms. Janati. Janati is to know. Simply we know, Janati. The Pali term is Janati. Janati, to know. Then the second level is Sanjanati. Sanjanati is to perceive. Sanjanati. These are general, common people, they know these things. They know and they perceive things. With the perception. You know, the perception takes place with the support of different factors, such as if you see something. In order to see something, you have to have your eye, the form, then you have to have consciousness, and these 3 should come together. When they come together, then there arises contact. When there is contact, then there arises feeling. When there is feeling, then comes perception. That is how we perceive things. Through the ear, nose, tongue, body and mind. Through 6 senses we perceive things. That is called Sanjanana. Sanjanana means we perceive things. That is another level. Then the Buddha talk about pajanati. Pajanati. Janati, pajanati. Pajanati means know well. We have to know things well. Pajanati. Then another level is sampajanati. Sampajanati is clearly understand. Sampajana. Satocha sampajanocha. Practice, develop both mindfulness and clear comprehension. Sampajanati. You see, janati, pajanati, sampajanati. 3 different levels. Sampajanati. Then vijanati. Vijanati. Vi is to penetrate. In order to understand things, you penetrate it. Vijanati. Vi is the prefix which gives the meaning see through, cut through and understand it. That is another level. Vijanati. Then pariññāti. Pariññāti is to realize things. That is the enlightened one's level. They realize things. Parinya. So those are different levels. When we develop jhana, the first 4 jhanas, we can gain different levels of knowledge, such as ability to perform miracles. It is a knowledge. Miraculous power. Miraculous power. These are called abhinya, profound knowledge. Abhinya. There are 6 different knowledge called abhinya. The first one is miraculous power. The second one is ability to understand others' mind. Third one is ability to understand previous lives. Then the fourth one is ability to see how beings are born to this world and how beings depart here and are born somewhere else. Then the fifth one is ability to understand, ability to hear the sounds, humans or divine sound. Then the sixth one is ability to destroy defilements, taints. Those are called 6 different levels of knowledge. These can be gained with the help of first 4 jhanas. That is why these 4 are to be developed, jhanas. And however much you develop jhana, if we do not switch to insight, no purpose, no meaning. The purpose of developing jhana is to switch to insight and understand things as they really are. So the Buddha has emphasized the need of practicing jhana in the discourses in order to switch to insight. In the Samanya Pala Sutta, the discourse named Fruit of Contemplative Life, Samanya Pala Sutta, which is one of the most important discourses from the Digha Nikaya, Lone Discourses. This is the second discourse of the Lone Discourses, where the Buddha gave 6 different similes to these 6 different knowledge. Let's understand the similes also. It's good to understand this. Then we can understand the purpose of this knowledge better. The first one, the Buddha said, miraculous power. Buddha gave the simile. He said, it is just like the person who carve things like woods or ivory. Then when they want to carve an ivory, they carve it as they wish, whatever they want to. Say they want to carve an animal or a flower or leaves or something else with ivory. Whatever they wish, they can do it. They can carve it as they like. Just like that, the person who developed jhana, this first 4 jhanas, can gain this knowledge and perform miracles such as like going through the air. They can go through the air even. but they are not enlightened ones. Even, Devadatta, he had that power. Devadatta, the Buddha's arch enemy, he himself had that power. Not necessarily to attain different stages of holy life to gain this jhana and perform miracles. They can go through mountains, through the mountains, through the walls. They can even, according to the sutta, they can even touch the sun and moon even. Those are called miraculous powers. They can walk on water, immersed in the earth, such things. That is the first knowledge, miraculous power. The second one is read in others' mind. The simile given was the mirror. When you go to the mirror, go to the front of the mirror, you can see yourself, your reflection. Just like that, you can see clearly the other's mind. That is the simile given, mirror. Then the third one is understand in the previous lives, how you were born in previous lives, where were you, what you did in the past, such things. This is, the Buddha gave a simile of a person, a pilgrims. Suppose a pilgrims go to a pilgrimage, and after that he comes back. When he comes back, the people ask, where did you go? What did you eat? And what did you do there? Then he start to tell you what he did. Just like that, you can understand your own previous lives, and you can say, I was born in that realm, I did like this, I ate this type of things, I did this thing, like that. Like a pilgrims who came back to you and report you what he did during the pilgrimage. Just like that, you can understand your previous lives. That is the simile given. And the next one, the ability to understand, to see how beings come to this world and how beings depart here and are born somewhere else. For this, the Buddha gave the simile of a person who is on the top of a house, like in a balcony. He can see how different people come into the house as a storied building. He's on the top of it, and he can see how people come into the house and how people depart from the house. Just like that, you can see, you can understand, you can see how different people, different beings come to this world and how they depart this world and are born somewhere else. That is another knowledge. And then the next one is ability to listen to the sounds, humans or divine. It is just like the skillful drum beater. When he listens to a sound of a drum, as he is a skillful person, as he has done all this, he knows the sound. Through the sound of the drum, he can decide what type of drum is it. Different types of drums, sounds. So like that, Buddha gave this simile. All these five knowledge, 5 types of knowledge, all these are worldly knowledge, worldly types of knowledge. That is what we have to understand. Buddhism is not to perform these things. Buddhism is not to gain this knowledge. Not that important. Buddha, the knowledge that he gained, the uniqueness of the Buddha is the sixth one, which is called complete destruction of all taints. Complete destruction of all taints. Asavakkaya jnana in Pali. Asava means taints. Destruction of all taints. Asavakkaya jnana. Where one can completely destroy these taints. That is the real knowledge gained by the Buddha. Nowhere else you can find that one. So in this manner, one can gain different knowledge, different types of knowledge. And when we practice this jhana, when we develop this jhana, we have to switch this to insight, samatha to vipassana. If we are mindful, if we develop mindfulness and clear comprehension, we can understand things clearly. That is what is called right understanding. Right understanding. Right understanding means, again, knowledge. You see different levels. You can simply understand things. That is what is called janati, sanjanati, pajanati, vijanati. These are different levels. Then now when you come to this level, this is called right understanding. In order to come to right understanding, you have to give up wrong understanding. Right understanding means, Buddha defined it very well. Dukkhe jnanam. Dukkhe jnanam. Jnana is knowledge. In Pali, knowledge. Jnana means knowledge. Right understanding means dukkhe jnanam. You have the knowledge of dukkha. If you have knowledge of dukkha, it's right understanding. Then dukkha samudaya jnanam. Knowledge of origination of dukkha. Then dukkha nirodha jnanam. The knowledge of the cessation of dukkha. And the dukkha nirodha gamini patipadaya jnana. The understanding, the knowledge of the path leading to the cessation of dukkha. These four. What are the four? Four noble truths. If you have the four noble truths, you have right understanding. If you have right understanding, then you start to think properly, correctly. That is what is called right thoughts. Right thoughts. That is again knowledge. Different levels. Then right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. You see, you come to understand, come to develop right concentration. Now by this time, your concentration is right concentration, not the worldly concentration any longer, not the four, simply the worldly four concentrations, four jhana. You are practicing the four jhana, it is true, of the path, the eighth one, you are practicing jhana, but right concentration, that is called right concentration. Right concentration is possible only with the support of the first seven factors of the path. That is the difference. Therefore, nowhere else you can find right concentration. So that is why I said, even before the Buddha, many people in India, they practice concentration, serenity, they practice. But no right concentration. Wrong concentration. Wrong concentration does not lead to right knowledge, but right concentration leads to right knowledge. Then the path becomes 9 factors. What is then right knowledge? Samma jnana. Samma jnana. Samma jnana means the knowledge of the 4 noble truths. You see, in the beginning of the path, you had the knowledge of the 4 noble truths, but it is not the realization level. It is the theoretical understanding level. The right understanding means understanding. Right view. Your view is correct there. At the very beginning, your view is good. View is right. View is correct. That is why it is called right understanding or right view. But when you come to the 9th factor of the path, your knowledge is true knowledge. It is the right knowledge. Samma jnana means you realize the 4 noble truths. Simply realizing the 4 noble truths, you cannot attain enlightenment. When you understand, when you realize the 4 noble truths, you can understand, you can realize the 3 characteristics of existence. That is with vipassana. Now, the most important thing is vipassana. No longer that important concentration. When you come to the realization, it is true vipassana. Right knowledge. When you have right knowledge, you have to realize the dependent origination as well. That is again knowledge. Buddha said in a particular discourse named 5 fear and dread. 5 fearful animosity. Fearful animosity. Where the Buddha said, one has to understand the dependent origination, not mere understanding. Understanding, one has to see it, one has to know it and see it. This is very important. Buddha talked on many discourses. The Buddha talked about see, know and see. Know is knowledge. You have to have the knowledge and then you have to see it. Knowledge and see. Knowledge is theoretically. That is theory. We have to understand theory. And then we have to see true. That is true vipassana. So, in the same manner, we have to see, we have to know and see the dependent origination. When we know and see the dependent origination, we can understand the sansaric journey. The sansaric journey is formed with the cycle of physicality and mentality. Physicality and mentality. Together with consciousness. Physicality and mentality one part, consciousness is the other part. So, Physicality and mentality depend on consciousness. Consciousness depend on physicality and mentality. That cycle is to be cut off. That is what the meditator do. He has to cut off this cycle. That is called sansaric cycle. So this is the result. When we practice jhana in this manner, we can develop our mind, we can develop jhana, and then we can switch this to insight. We have to switch jhana into insight. However much we practice jhana, if we do not switch to insight, we don't get the benefit. We can simply live happily, peacefully. That is what is called jhanic bliss. But we have to practice jhana and switch to insight. Only then we can get the real benefit of practicing jhana. So, when we practice jhana in this manner, we can switch this to insight, then we can understand things as they really are. When we understand things as they really are, then again knowledge, vimukta, we can liberate our mind. When we liberate our mind, we can understand, we have the knowledge that it is liberated. Yeah, the Buddha said, Vimuktasming vimuktamiti jnanam hoti. Again, jnana. That jnana, that knowledge, you can experience that knowledge. The knowledge means here the knowledge of liberation of your mind. Where you yourself can understand. When it is liberated, you know. That is again knowledge. You know it. You see, all these things to experience. Experiential wisdom, knowledge, different levels of knowledge. Finally, once your mind is liberated, you know it. You know it. So we all practice to understand things, to know things as they really are. As they really are. Vimuktasming vimuktamiti jnanam hoti. What is the reality? What is the realization? Your mind is liberated, and then you can come to the decision by yourself. Khina jati. Hereafter, you will not be born. You yourself can understand. Because of the release, because of the liberation of your mind, you yourself can decide, you yourself can declare even that from this day I will not be born again. Khina jati. Vusitam brahmacharyang. I led the holy life. Katang karaniyang. Done what had to be done. Katang karaniyang. Na parang ittata, I will not come back again here. That is the liberation. That is again your experience. These are all empirical, experiential wisdom. Not mere myths, not things to believe, but to experience by ourselves. In order to experience such things, we have to practice this properly. Our meditation. We have to practice meditation, then we can experience these different levels. The same thing the Buddha said in his first discourse. Buddha said, Jnanancha paname dassanam udapadi. Jnana, again Jnana and Dassana, vision, knowledge and vision arose in me. Jnanancha paname Dassanam udapadi. Akuppa me cheto vimukti, my release of my mind is unshakable. Akuppa, unshakable. Akuppa me cheto vimukti. Ayang antima jati, this is my last birth, Buddha said. Ayang antima jati, natti dani punabbavu, no re-becoming for me. Re-becoming, no birth, natti dani punabbavu. So friends, this is how we have to understand the significance of practicing jhana, practicing our meditation properly. When we practice meditation, our daily practice even, we have to practice, simply practice it. We have to practice ardently, understanding clearly, mindfully, and equanimously. Then we can experience these different levels of understanding, levels of knowledge. So let's understand the significance of practicing in this manner, and let's practice this meditation properly without too much like anticipation, hope. Just practice, then you can experience Dhamma. When you experience Dhamma, do not cling to. The Buddha said, when you practice, keep the body like a fragile pot. That is the instruction. Keep the body like a fragile pot. Kumbhupamang kayamimang viditva. Then keep the mind as a fortified city, as a well-protected city. The mind. Nagarupamang chittamidang tapetva. Then yodeta maram panya yudena. Develop your panya, develop your wisdom, and use it as a tool, as a weapon. Panya is the weapon. Your weapon is the wisdom. Yodeta marang panya yudena. Hit the mara with that weapon of wisdom. Jitancha rakhe anivesanosia. But when you practice, make sure that whatever you have gained, such as jhanic bliss, when you have bliss, when you have sort of bliss, so even rapture, happiness, if you cling to that, no, you cannot go forward. Therefore, we do not cling to whatever we experienced earlier, but simply we practice. When you practice, you can understand, you can cleanse your mind, you can develop your mind, you can develop your concentration, and again, whenever you are ready, you can switch to insight. If you switch your concentration to insight, you can understand things as they really are. You can understand, mainly you can understand things are impermanent, unsatisfactory, and without a self. You can understand things are not mine, not me, not myself. This is the realization. When you realize this, you have peace. You can experience real peace, real happiness of Nibbana here within this very world. That is why we want to practice. Let's all practice and experience this bliss, and eventually the Nibbanic bliss. May we all attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.